Triple E EDC back again with another knife video. This is the Civivi Bullmastiff. This was in my top 10 knives for 2020, and it was there for a reason. This thing is awesome. So first of all, let's do some size comparisons. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, this is a big knife, right? So here's the Super Freak and the Mini Freak from Benchmade. It eclipses both of them pretty easily. Here is the Benchmade 940 and the Benchmade Bugout. Right? Really eclipses both of those. Here is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and the Para 3. Way bigger than those. And let's go ahead and get some big boy knives on the table. Here is the Strider SMF and the Cold Steel 4 Max. You can really see how this compares to those two. So very cool. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the good and the bad of this. So first of all, the good. The price is $50. The value on that is just tremendous, and you know, when you watch the rest of the video, you're gonna know why. So first of all, what you're getting for the money, you got G10 here, and you've got 9CR18 MOV steel, which I like a lot better than D2. I think it works a lot better than D2 for most tasks, and generally I find it to hold an edge a little bit longer as well. You can see cut testing on many channels. Outpost 76 has done testing on this. I think Tom Hosang has done a video on this as well. And 9CR18 MOV has generally held up better than D2, which confirms sort of my anecdotal evidence. So that's great. The choil on here is awesome. The blade shape is fantastic. I love the fact that it gets down to a very thin edge. It has sort of this curved, almost sheep's foot style blade on a cleaver. The blade itself is a cleaver blade, but the edge is sort of like almost a sheep's foot style edge, which is fantastic. And with that choil over there, you can really get some nice detail work up on this thing, no problem. The blade design is also great because you can roll that out with your thumb. You can Spidey flick it, although I will say with this, you're going to end up, you know, one finger is a little bit uncomfortable to Spidey flick it with. You'll sort of Spidey flick it with both your middle and ring finger, and that tends to give great results. So I really like that as well. You obviously can do it with the flipper, and with the detent, you're going to get some really great action on this thing as well. The drop action is absolutely drop shut thanks to the blade. It's an absolute guillotine. The weight of the blade really makes it that way. You know, it's on bearings, which is another part of the materials that makes it great. But you can really see that drop shut action, right? Really fantastic. It's probably the best action on a Civivi I've ever had, which is really saying something because a lot of Civivis have great action. Another great thing on this is I like Civivi's pocket clips. They generally do a good job on the pocket clips. Deep carry for the price. You really can't complain too much. So I'm very happy about that. Generally the fit and finish on Cvv's is great, and this is no exception. As you can see, everything is completely flush. All the sides are, you know, chamfered nicely over here, and it's just very nice in that way. As far as ergonomics, very neutral ergonomics. I'd say 7 out of 10 easily, you know, for ergonomics. And when you lock up on the choil, that choil grip is really like an 8 out of 10. It's fantastic. The lanyard hole is out of the way, doesn't bother the pocket clip, which I like, and so that's mostly the good here. As far as what I don't like about this knife, mainly a couple of things. One is the pocket clip, you know, is not recessed. Is that a big deal? No, at least the screws are recessed into the pocket clip. But, you know, I'd like to see that improve. I think Civivi has done that on some of their other knives, so I would like to see it on this one. The hardware on here, I don't like the way they do it. Number one, this is, I believe, T6. I'm going to go ahead and verify that. This is T6 here. Is it T8? I take that back. They have T8 hardware on here, so that is actually part of the good. Well, the body screws are good as part of the good. Here, look, you'll see it's T8. And so that's great that it has T8 screws. I've actually never had to take it apart, so I didn't know. But what I don't like about the hardware, and the reason I put it in the bad category, for the real reason, is that I don't like the fact that the pivot's black and you've got satin body screws. So I just think it looks a little off, right? You've got a satin clip, satin body screws, satin blade, and a black pivot. It just looks a little weird. So I don't necessarily love that aspect of it, and I wish they would have made a satin pivot, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot of bad I can really point out on this knife. It's a great knife. I mean, this thing is awesome, and this is a joy to own, absolute joy to own. So if you're asking me whether I recommend it, well, you guys already know I recommend it because it was in my top 10 knives of 2020. But it still continues to be one of the best things Civivi sells and one of the best values in their lineup. So I haven't tried the mini Bullmastiff yet, but the full size is great, and if you can legally carry it where you live, definitely go pick one up. It's totally worth it. Thanks so much for watching, guys.